Sissy just came in to tell me I was muted. I will one day remember to work my my microphone like that. But today is not that day. I'm gonna pop over here for some reason. Well, shoot, it doesn't look like the chat's coming up on screen there either. Oh no, don't tell me I accidentally forgot my window capture too. Oh my god, I might have to start this whole thing back over from the start. Because I cannot window capture while we're already in, or can I? Let me see if I can grab this window capture real quick. And if not, then we'll chalk this up to technical difficulties. Wait, is it here? It's here! Alright, sweet. So, for those of you who haven't been to one of these timeline streams yet, they're a bit more laid back than our rest of the week streams. It's more or less just kind of going through things at a steady pace, chit-chatting with you all in the chat, and just hanging out. We've gone through a decent amount of like Batman Beyond websites, the old Batman Beyond timeline video that we did a while ago, and we've built this timeline where we're trying to put literally everything that we can on it, that is DCAU canon or at least DCAU adjacent, and give very sourced information as to why things are where they are. If I can get it to, zoom in and allow me to figure it out. Here we go. I will forewarn y'all that sometimes my computer does like to lag a little bit, so that might be a thing during this. So if that's a deal breaker for you, I'm just letting you know off the start. But yeah, so we've placed like all of the Batman Beyond episodes in the years that make the most sense to me for their placement based off of the information that we have. And today we're going to try to start placing some of the comics. I don't know if I'm going to specifically read the comics or not, because James is kind of reading comics as his streams right now. And we've already taken notes on the Batman Beyond comics, so I might just go through my notes and kind of compare and contrast kind of situation and put them on here. That's what I did with this one right here already, the Batman Beyond #3 that's down here. So we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, like everything's lined up nice and neatly. And then typically speaking, just because of the way that my computer works, and isn't the best, I usually just kind of put things on here where I can during the stream, and then after stream when my computer's not really handling as much stuff at the same time, I'll go back and fix it, make it all look nice and neat, and then throw it up usually in the Discord server once we're done with it looking nicer. But yeah, so real quick before I start jumping into that stuff, let me run through the chat a little bit. It looks like there's a lot more people here than usual now that we're streaming on both YouTube and Twitch, and I'm assuming that means there's going to be a lot more chat to go through. Let's see. I'm seeing Backlash TV in here. BTAS lover Greg, hello. It's nice to have y'all aboard. I feel like I cannot read everyone's hello messages, so I'm just gonna try to see, what everyone's asking. Anyone know what issues we're covering tonight? It could be all of them. Could be. It's gonna end up depending on how we're feeling, and how we go about it. Whether I do the actually read through the issues or whether we're going through my notes, right? It all depends. Oh shoot, Above and Batman Beyond is here. Hey, nice to have y'all here hanging out. Who else is coming through? What else is going on? Let's see. Bunch of highs, hellos. You know what? Let me look at it on my phone because it is all just scrolling on my screen. And of course my phone says I can only look at so many back. That's fine. Everybody talking about the music. Anyone know what we're doing tonight? Blah, blah, blah. This would be great elevator music. We have it saved on our thing as elevator music. It's not showing the chat on screen, and that's bugging me. That might be something that we gotta figure out post stream, cause you know, it's good to have that there. Right now, it's just an empty blue square, unless y'all are seeing something that I'm not seeing. Some things, my boy, are better left unsaid. We need a Mr. Wing action figure. Yes, I agree. Okay, caught up with everyone saying that I was muted. Let me see. Welcome to the world of volume. No, you welcome to the world of volume. There we go. Let me see. James just sent me a photo. I'm not sure what it is. This is my first Watchtower Database stream. Be gentle with... Hey, V! Welcome aboard! Why is James sending me photos right now? He knows I'm on stream. Maybe they are stream pertinent. How was the rest of the Batman Beyond book? Are you talking about the guides we were going through last time? There wasn't a lot in them that were useful. But you know, there was some fun stuff, like information that like Cobra was founded centuries ago, stuff like that. Let me see. I should redraw the Mr. Wing I did, but put Mattie's head on it. Go for it, Greg, if that's how you feel. Oh, Jake is here. Hello, Jake. Nice to have you on board. Twitch is the best is here. Man, I can't believe James started reading comics in April. It felt like it went on forever. Yeah, I mean, well, when you're only doing one comic a week, that's how it's gonna be. Keep up the good work on the content. Well, hey, thanks, Nick. It's always nice to get positive reinforcement. James suggests hiding the restream chat to maybe delag a tiny bit and shrink your webcam very slightly. Oh, is my webcam? Oh, it is peeking out the corner there, isn't it? Yeah, you know what? Let's see if we can hide. I don't know. I don't know where the chat is, Jimbo, or else I would. I'm looking for it. Don't y'all love technical difficulties on the fly? Is it this browser source? It is the browser source. Can I just... Is there a hide button? Yes, hide. There we go. Bada bing. Now y'all don't even know that there was a chat box there. And shrink. There we go. There we go. That's better. All right. Was there anything else? Anything else I need to catch up on? Also, you know, Sissy always watching your streams ties up your internet. She's watching off of a different internet, I do believe, unless she's not. Oh, I didn't even ask her to switch the PlayStation internet over, but so it goes. I'm scared to see what the internet would do with the Mr. Wing action figure. Okay, tight, awesome, thank you. Sissy says she's already taking care of the internet stuff on her side. James, stop trying to dad me. I'm scared to see what the internet would do with the Mr. Wing action figure. Probably take a lot of cool action pose pictures with it. Have I heard the announcement of Conic 2? I don't even know what that means. Mattie gave me a Zeta figure. I did, and I hope you're enjoying it. All right, I think that I'm caught up. Oh, he was sending me pictures of the stream chat. Well, now we're all caught up. I'm seeing that I am having frame drops though, so you know, there goes that already. But yeah, so essentially, I guess all we're doing tonight, we're just trying to figure out where we can place most, if not all, of the Batman Beyond comics. And like I said, I've already taken notes on them. Though I cannot say that my old notes will be useful to me today, given that it's been a while, and I'm not necessarily going to understand the context of them. Let me see. So this first, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it with the actual issues. That way there's something nice and shiny on screen for y'all, right? And you're not feeling as though you're just here to look at a spreadsheet, because that probably doesn't sound too fun the more that I think about it. Let's see. It's snowing where I'm at, and I have satellite internet, unfortunately, and it doesn't like the snow very much, which causes it to be angry, and it's taking it out on me by not letting me watch. That's unfortunate, but if it makes you feel any better, James is telling me that there's pretty terrible lag on my end. So, maybe it's not your internet, maybe it's me. If it continues to stay really bad laggy, I might not go very long tonight. Usually we go like 3 or 4 hours on these, but who knows. Thoughts on the upcoming McFarlane Beyond figure line? I haven't seen the whole line. I saw the Shriek one, and that looked pretty cool. Don't tell me how I feel, Dad. Not safe for work, Mr. Wing. Stop motion's coming in April. Oh no. Oh no. What's your favorite bit that you guys have done in a Watchtower Database video? Oh, I feel like I really enjoy when we did the Earth 12 Willet cannon. Right? It's got it's got references to Army of Darkness in it. It's got James's dad talking with me, and like I've never even met James's dad. That's all video magic. Okay, so James says that now the lag is good. I don't know. All I know is James keeps messaging me. He's trying to cut the line. He's trying to break through past all y'all's chats. What's your favorite bit? I did that one. Yeah. Great content on YouTube from Nick Nickel with a $2 donation. Well, thank you. I'm gonna pop over to YouTube. Okay, you do that, Brian. We'll see you here. Okay, the lag has gotten better. Josiah's here. Awesome. Okay. Well, I am glad that things are getting a little better. So let's now that I'm caught up with the chat, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll read the issue. Right? We can read it along together. I'm not gonna necessarily do it the same way James is doing it because I've already taken notes on these. Though I might clean them up a little bit. We'll see. It all depends. But yeah, so this is Batman versus Batman Beyond, written by Hilary J. Bader, with Craig Rousseau as the penciler, Rob Lay as the inker, and a bunch of other people. Bob Kane, the creator of Batman. Right? As if nobody else had anything to do with that. Right? Conversion by Wildstorm. Interesting. I've never seen that on a digital comic before, but now I have. Why are you doing this? Ugh. You can't beat me. I'm 10 times stronger than you. How many times have I told you? Strategy and skill will best strength any day. Thwack! Even you can't pit your strategy against the power of a freight train, and that's what I am compared to you. Whop. I like all of the whop sounds that I've started noticing in these comics ever since whop became a thing. Please, Mr. Wayne, don't fight me. I don't want to hurt you. Neither do I, but if I have to, I will. Cough, cough. What? Nerve gas, diluted, slow acting, cough cough. You don't understand. Okay, hold on. So I got a problem right here. I have a problem right here with this panel. Y'all remember at the very start of Batman Beyond where Bruce Wayne's just like, they're using my company to make nerve gas. Bro, why are you using it? Why are you using it? Like, if you were gonna be that upset about it, you shouldn't be pulling it out right now, man. It's only okay when I do the war crimes. Wait, I'll probably pop in the chat every couple pages or so. Let's see. The Earth 12 Willet Cannon is my favorite video on the channel. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm glad that you are also into that one. It was a lot of fun. And like I wasn't there at all for when James was filming his dad. So I gotta imagine that was a wild time. Like at least from seeing the bloopers, it looked like they were both having fun. Who should I draw during the stream? Anyone got drawing ideas for Rodimus 2099? I'm gonna say Mr. Wing, but if anyone else has ideas, go ahead and drop them. Is Mattie Mr. Wing? I wish I was Mr. Wing. I want them to call me for the Batman the Animated Series reunion if that's actually happening. Bruce Wayne is the best. Go away, Bobby Kane. Bill Finger, the real creator. Absolutely. I'm glad he's finally been getting his credit. I love a good spreadsheet, but I'm a nerd. True. Terry running train on Bruce. Oh no. Since you're in the YouTube audience, I don't know if you were here for the Twitch stream where we were talking about Bruce's old juices. That was an interesting thing. Let's see. Yeah, okay, it looks like people are agreeing with me about Bruce with nerve gas. He may not like it, but they make some good nerve gas. Yeah. Yellow Batsuit Gang. Still feel bad for Bruce in this timeline. When's the next hair video? I feel like we've mentioned doing another hair video, but I'm not sure. I don't remember who we were discussing potentially doing it. Okay, people are dropping ideas for that drawing. I'm seeing Conic, Terry as Batman, and Ink. Those are all good ones as well. Get your hair cut like the Nightwing mullet when you hit 70k subs. Oh no, that might not be a good idea, but maybe. Watching on another monitor while uploading every single episode of DCAU review to Pod Tower. Come on over and subscribe, everybody. Yeah, true. That's probably something I should have mentioned at the start. We have a crap ton of these live streams that we've been cataloging over at Pod Tower. So if you've missed any of them and want to catch up, that's a good way to do so. Or if you are interested in DCAU podcasts, we're hosting the DCAU review and Tim Talk over there. So definitely at least subscribe over there. You know what? Even if you're not gonna watch them, just go subscribe. The more subscribers we get, the sooner we can change to a custom URL. Is Mr. Wing going to be in Legacies? Maybe. Jack Ryder form of the Creeper. Oh, true. That's another good. Re-explain old juices. Okay, so the kids' WB bios for Batman Beyond got kind of horny at specific points, and while we're reading these slightly horny kids' WB bios, all of a sudden we get a sentence about Bruce getting the old juices going. So automatically the head went to a weird place. Will I cut my hair for the next hair video? I've got to cut them whenever we start doing the story videos again. So there isn't a hair video built into that, but maybe we'll do a hair video like as a preemptive thing for that. We'll see. All right. back into the comic for a sec.
I understand perfectly.
What's happening? I can't...
You're getting weaker. You don't have the strength to counter the simplest moves. I told you, strategy and skill will best strength any day. I'm sorry, Terry, but this was the only way. It was for your own good. You'll see that when you come to your senses.
Oh, hold on. There's something I didn't notice the last time I did this. That's the terrific trio building there in the background. Maybe you're right, or maybe not. So let me add... Oh, this was before we had columns for items and locations. So let me insert a couple columns real quick. Oh, well, it inserted it on the wrong side. Insert. Column right. Insert. Column right. I don't remember which order they go, but I can, I'll switch it up if I need to. Locations and items. So, let's see. We had a terrific trio building. Pop that on in there.
Terry! Terry, I'm not strong enough. Give me your other hand.
Okay, here.
Terry. Why?
Remember, go back to the beginning. I thought I said I wanted the dishes done and the garage cleaned before you did anything else. Why is it every time I tell you to do something, it's a fight? Come on, Mom! Don't make a federal case out of it. I just needed some downtime. I have responsibilities you couldn't possibly understand. Unlike me, I suppose raising 2 sons alone working full-time? I have a job too! Not anymore. You're grounded. No online. No vid phone. No computer except for schoolwork. No job and absolutely no TV. I like that the idea of video capabilities on phones was so foreign back then that they specifically called it a vid phone. I also enjoy no online. Fine. Put me in jail again, Warden. You so much as peek at a commercial, I'm calling Mr. Wayne right now! That's correct, Mr. Wayne. He's grounded for 2 weeks. You'll have to make other arrangements.
Might I ask what he's done?
Oh, it's not one thing. It's been building up for weeks. He's becoming surly, disobedient, confrontational.
If you'd like me to have a talk with him, I'm sure.
No, Terry has to learn to respect me. Good night, Mr. Wayne.
Terry, I know you're still on the line. Give her a couple of hours to cool down and I'll call her back. But you'd better cool down also, or I'm going to question whether you're in the right state of mind for your after-school activities. Understand? He'll be all right. Maybe it's just a teenage thing. Grrr.
KKG TV apologizes for the momentary interruption of services. Let me, you know what? Let me zoom in on panels. Make it easier for y'all to also read these. KKG TV apologizes for the momentary interruption of services.
Grrr. What is it, boy? Don't like the recep?
A power surge at Gotham's main relay antenna on the KKG building seems to have been the cause, but everything is now under control. Control.
Woof, woof, woof.
In other news...
Brr, brr. Hello?
Mr. Wayne, is he there?
Who? Terry? What time?
2 a.m. We had another blow up. I've never seen him like that. He threw things, said things. Mr. Wayne, he hit Matt. I don't know what could have happened. What I could have said.
It's nothing you did. Terry's a good kid. I'm sure there's an explanation for it. A cause.
Sniffle, sniffle.
What could it be?
Oh, shit. That's his mom. What could it be?
I I don't know, but I'll find out. I should have known.
Oh, there it goes.
I should have known. I should have seen the signs. Something sent Terry over the edge, and I'm going to have to find out what. Fast. But first, I'd better disable that suit, because if Terry is acting violent or is under someone's influence, then so is Batman.
Bum, bum, bum.
The Batmobile. Oh no.
You getting this, Bruce? You haven't gotten tired of the all-bat channel?
That's what you want, isn't it, Terry? That's why you keep broadcasting to me.
No fun in doing all this if no one's watching, Mr. Wayne.
Everybody's watching. You've been on the news for the past 12 hours. You've made your mark. Come home. Let me help you. Terry, you're not yourself.
That's where you're wrong. I finally am myself. I've felt this anger for so long.
You hear it too, huh, boy? Just got to keep him talking.
I just never did anything about it. Crackle free, crackle, free.
Terry, I understand that anger. I've felt it my whole life. But feeling it and acting on it are two different.
Don't preach to me, Bruce, and stop looking for me. Crackle, because if you find me, it'll end in death. Mine or yours.
Computer, replay and isolate anomalous sub-frequency and recording of message.
Isolated. Crackle free.
Filter. Seems someone has isolated the cowl radio frequency and has been bombarding Terry with some kind of subliminal signal. Computer, match subliminal signal pattern with all known patterns. Let's see who's doing this.
Match found.
I should have known. Spellbinder. Computer, find the source of the signal.
Location, map grid coordinates, P4, KKG, antenna.
I've got to stop him, and I can't do it as Bruce Wayne. Tonight, there are going to have to be two of us.
Which is, higher than the amount of stretchy guys that are normally allowed. Let me see. Let me catch up with the chat real quick, since I just made an offhand comment. Make Mr. Wing a casino owner. Yes, let's make it happen. Mr. Wing's Lucky Lounge. DC Collectibles should make a new wave of Adventures Continued and add Mr. Wing in it. Didn't DC Collectibles shut down though? At least if I'm remembering correctly. Hey, looks like we got a new follower over on Twitch. Who was it? Where is it? Jim Bro Early. Well, thank you for following, my dude. Or my dudette. I'm assuming from bro that you're a dude, though. The best DCAU characters, Farmer Brown, Zeta, and Mr. Wing. Very true. Very true. I would also add the goat from Critters. I know it's illegal to not watch the stream live, but I can't. I just can't with this internet right now. Hey, that's totally fine, Trace. Do as you gotta do. There's a reason why we're archiving them. A chat reader streaming occasionally interrupted by shouting out a Batman Beyond comic. Yes. Let's see. Zoom the spreadsheet too. It's teeny as heck. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Maybe Matt deserved it. Oh no. Never hit your little brothers or your big brothers. Just don't do it. My Conroy game is strong. Well, thank you. What would you want them to do with the animated series relaunch that is being rumored? So we're working on a video on that for Watchtower Database, so I won't go too far into it. But I also just recorded earlier a podcast episode with DCAU Review and Tim Talk. I'm not sure which one is going to come out first, but my thoughts will be available in both formats. Now Bruce puts on the Robin suit. Oh, Jesus. I'd be so down for that. Never again unless the radio stops working, right? True. Alright, what do we got going?
Let's see. Tonight, there are going to have to be two of us. Terry! Terry!
Oh, that was Matt. That wasn't Batman. Now I feel silly. Smile for your mugshot. Hey, cut it out, or I'll send that night vision digital where it's always night. Get it? He's about to shove a camera up Matt's ass. Mom says come to dinner. Did Mr. Wayne call? You hear a phone ring while you were in there in solitary? No. Then I guess he didn't call. Hey, no cheating. Mom said no TV. Hello? Anybody home? Terry? Huh? What happened? Just taking a night vision shot of my catatonic brother. Shut off the TV. What if I want to watch? Shut it off before I vaporize you. Okay. Listen to me, Matt. No joke. This is important. How long was I staring at the TV? I don't know. Maybe 10 seconds? 10? It felt like hours. I was trying to get somewhere. Where was it? Terry, if you're trying to scare me, I'm sorry. Listen, Ter, about earlier, I may have been a little harsh. Maybe if we talk... Can't now, Mom. I have to go. If you leave this house now, young man... Terry! It's Mr. Wayne. I think he's in trouble. Big trouble. Woof, woof, woof! We got the nice little gray ghost going on there in the background. That subliminal message on the TV is coming from the antenna on top of the KKG TV building. I'm betting that's where I'll find Mr. Wayne.
Yes. Got to keep going, Bruce. Can't give up. Ugh. Hurry, old man. He's close. Good. I beat him.
Mr. Wayne, I know you're here. Please, come. Oof! Ugh! Mr. Wayne, wait! Mr. Wayne, please, you have to listen to me.
Ugh! Why? So you can go back to using what I've taught you to wreak havoc on the city?
Mr. Wayne, Bruce, I know this is hard for you to believe, but none of what you think I've done has happened. It was all a mad hallucination. There was some kind of subliminal message in the TV.
You're the one who's mad, Terry.
Why are you doing this? You can't beat me. I'm 10 times stronger than you.
How many times have I told you? Strategy and skill will best strength any day.
Maybe you're right, Bruce. Or maybe not.
Terry! Give me your other hand!
Okay, here!
Ah!
Remember, go back to the beginning.
Oh my god. I remember! Terry! Terry!
That man falling.
Gotcha! Ugh!
Ugh.
You okay?
Do you think you could have cut it a little closer just for the thrill?
Yeah, you're okay. The Oxymix should do the trick. Your strength should be almost back to normal by now.
Almost. How about you?
Shoulder's a little sore. I forgot how much of a kick that back grapple had when it took hold, especially with the two of us on it.
Computer. Oh, shoot, that's Bruce.
Computer, analyze TV signals for the last 4 hours and record any anomalies.
Analyzed. Subliminal message track found on all broadcast frequencies. Pattern matches known criminal. Spellbinder.
Just like in the hallucination. Only you weren't the one affected by Spellbinder. I was.
Boom, boom, boom. Oh, did I skip? No, okay. Yeah, but if my mom hadn't taken away my TV privileges, Spellbinder's subliminal messages would have got me too. But why wasn't anyone else affected? Why would there be a message for Terry McGinnis and Bruce Wayne?
The message wasn't for Terry McGinnis or Bruce Wayne. It was for Batman. It was meant for you, but it caught me instead. I told you, that's how I think of myself.
Oh, hey, we got another new follower on Twitch. ejack43049, thank you for following.
I'm going to trace the subliminal signal back to its source, so we know where Spellbinder's lair is. Then I'll install a few extra screens in your visor and keep a signal block fed into your ear.
Sounds painful.
Just want to make sure when you confront Spellbinder, he can't use video or audio to send a subliminal message. He'll try, but he won't be able to influence you.
And won't he be surprised? I forget how Spellbinder's supposed to sound. I feel like he's got like a kind of mysterious sound to him. Excellent. The new subliminal vid menu is working well. Soon, neither of you will have any way to tell the real world from the world I want you to experience. Then, you can help me rid my world of that menace Batman. I am here! The imperative I programmed into you has worked more quickly than expected. I wonder exactly what it is you think you're seeing. A dear loved one in danger? A world leader threatening Earth? I see a petty criminal who thinks nothing of controlling the minds of innocent men and women if it suits his purposes. Irk! I don't understand. How did you escape my subliminal message? It was on 24 hours every broadcast, cable, net, and satellite TV channel. How could you have missed it? TV? It's just a vast wasteland of mind-numbing drivel. Never watch it. My mom won't let me. Stop him! He's attacking the president! Kill him! He's trying to kidnap that child! My servants, Batman, unlike you, they have finished my little brain training exercise video. They don't see you and me. They see whatever it takes to get them to do what I want them to do. Ugh! And a nice side effect. The treatment stimulates the endocrinal and hormonal systems, increasing natural strength by... Oof! Call the Secret Service! Let her go! Well, I haven't even measured it yet. What? Why am I all of a sudden white and black instead of orange and black? How did that happen? I don't know. I'm the Spellbinder. Call out the National Guard! Where? How? Say goodnight, Gracie. Oh shoot, that's we got that in Batman Adventures Continue. They've been hiding that in the DCAU for who knows how long. Paksh. Ah! Ooh. No, you won't ruin it again. Look next to you. The man you see. He is your most trusted. He is the most loved. No, please, what are you going to do to me? How about a taste of your own medicine? My voice, hear my voice. He is your most trusted, your most loved. What is going on? The size of Batman's ears is kind of ridiculous here. Like, what is going on? That is a bit much. Do I know you? Yes, you're him. The most trusted. The most loved.
What's going on there, Terry? Did you get him?
Not only did I get him, I think I made a friend for life. Turning Spellbinder to
your side was easy compared to what's coming next.
What are you? Oh, I almost forgot. What are we gonna do?
Just leave everything to me. I hadn't realized that my medicine was so far past the expiration date. If Terry hadn't been thinking so quickly, well, he saved my life.
That doesn't make up for his recent attitude or his disobedience.
I agree completely, but I've thought of a compromise so he can still work for me while he's grounded.
Yes?
Of course, he'll have to take care of his chores here first.
Terry doesn't look like he's into this at all.
And in exchange, we'll just extend the time that he's grounded to, say, 3 weeks instead of 2.
What? Make it 4 and we've got a deal.
4 it is, right, Terry?
And remember, even when he's at your house, I don't want him watching any TV.
Oh, I think we can all agree to that one. It's just a vast wasteland of mind-numbing drivel. Or, so I've heard.
And end. All right, so that's the end of issue 1 of not the first series of the tie-in comic, but the second series of the tie-in comic. The first series was a 6-issue thing, and the second got like 24 issues, and there's a secret lost issue that we'll be making a video about very soon. If our boys from Above and Batman Beyond are still in the chat, they're part of that. So, you know, that's going to be a fun time. Let's see. What do y'all got going on in the chat before we, Let's see. Mattie, the hat and mustache combo make me think of that dude from HBO's Chernobyl. I'm not familiar with HBO's Chernobyl, so I'll just assume it's a compliment and say thanks. Love your videos, Watchtower. You should do a tie with Super Friends from Hanna-Barbera. We should do a tie with the Super Friends. I'm not sure I understand specifically what you're saying. Are you saying we should do a video with about the Super Friends? That could be fun. That was Matman, not Batman. Let's see. Old man Bruce in the classic suit looks so badass. True. James does have a point with the never again thing, but I'm not here to do canonicity stuff. I'm here to just pop things into the timeline, whether they pan out to be canon or not. So this is all a misunderstanding. Seems to be, from what I understand, Bruce got spellbinded and thought Terry was doing the bad. Batman year 100. True. The lag has gotten a lot worse. That's a bummer. Let's see. Hashtag gray bat suit. Lag gets better and worse back and forth, y'all. It'll catch back up. Spellbinder was dancing with Bruce, but he was looking at Terry. True. That's how I think of myself line means that it's after Shriek. That's what I got here in my notes. I told you that's how I think of myself. See, Shriek. Let's see. Does Spellbinder know they are Batman? I don't think Spellbinder knows the identity of Batman, right? He probably just put out a wave, a hypnotic suggestion specifically for Batman. And since Terry is Batman and Bruce thinks of himself as Batman, you know, it caught both of them. Spellbinder sounds like a Dalek. Not the child president. They're kidnapping the kid president. What was that from? Was that Nickelodeon? Was Kid President a Nickelodeon thing? Yes, Goodnight Gracie is a TV reference. Let me pop that in here. James said to zoom in on the spreadsheet, so I'll do that. We did have a couple locations, so I'll pop those in as well. We had the KKG TV antenna. We had the McGinnis household. We had what else? Wayne Manor and the Bat Cave. And I think that covers basically everything that was in this issue as far as locations goes. Let's see. There was mention of... Oh, hold on. I've got items in here. Because that's how we used to do this. So let me move those items over here. There was mention of what, the Secret Service and the National Guard, I believe. Oh, and this Oxymix thing is an item. Boom. Take those out. National Guard. And Secret Service. And then... Oh, no, that's the locations. Those were items that I'm trying to move over. And then stuff that could make it non-canon. I guess we could say... never again... ... Unless... Bruce in bat suit. And then of course there was the nerve gas. Right? But like I said, that's not what we're doing today. We're not deciding if will these canon. We're popping stuff on the timelines. So we know that this has to be after Shriek. But I think that this is all that we've also, just because of the premise here, I think we could probably say it's before that episode where Batman was framed for what was it, murdering Mad Max? Not Mad Max, Mad Stan, right? They should call it a vid tube. Starts to spell bat shipping. In the Batman Huge Ears panel, Terry's ripped off Spellbinder's COVID mask. Hold on, what are you talking about? How do I get it back to just pages? Let's see. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, I see what you're saying. That was the little visor he was wearing. But true, it does kind of look like a mask. Oh, James had to hop off. The baby's crying. We'll see you later, James. Glad I'm from England. America is the worst country in the world. It's you know, I don't know if it's the worst, but it is it's definitely not at its best. I'll tell you that much for sure. That mustache looking good. Well, thank you, Super Saiyan God Vegito. Hey, I've just found out that there were Justice League themed McDonald's Happy Meal toys with mini comics attached. Actually, they those were from Burger King. But I've got all of those mini comics, and I think that's what James is doing next week on stream. Where can I access this timeline file? So we're not like publicly putting it on any of our social media or anything at the time, but it is going to be. Usually, I do post it in the Watchtower Database Discord, like after cleaning it up from week to week. So that is the only place you'll be able to access it currently. But you might have to wait a day or two for me to post the link. Yeah, that makes sense. Otherwise, Bruce's hallucination would have probably made reference to Mad Stan. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. By the way, Kid President was a YouTuber. Okay, gotcha. I feel like they did a thing with him on Nickelodeon, but I could be wrong. All right, so let's see. So we know it's gonna be after. What did we say it was? After Shriek, right? Yeah, after Shriek for sure. And it's definitely after Terrific Trio, since they've got, the Terrific Trio base of operations up. Or would it be before Terrific Trio? Because why would their base of operations still be up if they're well, where is Terrific Trio? How far into the series was that? We got Rebirth, Blackout, Golem, Winning Edge, Dead Man's Hand, Meltdown, Heroes. Okay, so Heroes is before Shriek. So we gotta assume that they just still have the terrific trio building up. I forget which episode it was that that the Mad Stan mind control situation was on. Do you think they will ever reboot Batman Beyond or continue it since it was only 3 seasons? You know, I would say that it's possible that we get a reboot at some point, maybe even like some kind of a reunion movie. But I do not see a DCAU connected revival of Batman Beyond as a series, right? Like I'm kind of surprised at the Batman the Animated Series reunion rumors that are going around right now. But like if it took them 30 years to decide that that's a good idea, I can't imagine them coming back around to Batman Beyond anytime sooner than 30 years, if that makes sense. Oh, did I accidentally move Windows on my phone? Let's see. Hey guys, Mattie, that episode you're thinking of is Eyewitness. Yes, that's the one. That's the one. I was trying to look it up on the DCAU wiki, but you're correct. Let's see. All right, so we're gonna put in a new bubble. And we'll call it Batman Beyond Volume 2, Number 1. And let's see, where did I save all of my comic covers? All right, and we gotta attach a line from Shriek to there. Did anybody else catch anything else in that issue that might have helped place it a little bit better? Because let's see, how far away is Eyewitness? Oh, let me. Because I've got a feeling that Shriek to Eyewitness is gonna be a pretty big gap for this to be hanging out in. Revenant, Babel, Terry's Friend Dates a Robot, Eyewitness, yeah. So that puts it like any time between 2040 to 2041 almost. Which is alright for right now. It at least narrows things down. And then let me add, well, I gotta get the, where is it? I told you that's what I think of myself. I gotta get this panel. Let me grab a snipping tool to screenshot that with. Where is my snipping tool app? There it is. Save that as Shriek BB1 for Batman Beyond number 1. And save it in my comics folder. And then let's pop it on as evidence. see. I'd say the nostalgia factor will put Batman Beyond back in the spotlight before too terribly long. I would hope so. I just like I don't see it necessarily coming back as a full series, right? Like I don't see a Batman Beyond season 4 being in the cards. More or less is what I'm saying. If it does come back as a series, I feel like they'll probably find a way to tweak it. Whether that be, a Justice League Beyond series or it just be a Batman Beyond reboot altogether. I just feel like if it's going to be connected to the DCAU, more likely than not, it would just be as like a one-off movie. Takes place after the events of Shriek. Let's see. Oh, take it easy, Brian. I just saw you logging out. Let's see. Thanks for your answer, Mattie. I'll happily join the Discord. Awesome. Looking forward to having you over there. How many hours will this live stream be? I want to watch Attack on Titan on TV tonight. I probably won't go the 3 or 4 hours as usual, just because I had a real rude awakening this morning. My cat decided that she wanted to stand on top of me and yell in my ear for 10 minutes. So I am very kind of zonked already as it is. So I might just go through one more. I might just go through one more issue and call it after that. I agree with you. Honestly, I just wish it was a series again. LOL. As for the B-Test rumors coming back, I'm surprised. Just hope it's going to be clutch. Yeah. I there's a lot of ways that they could mess it up, but there are a lot of ways they could make it real good. So here's hoping for the best. Editorial note. Probably before Eyewitness, due to slightly similar plots and yet no reference to the time Terry was thought to have gone AWOL and killed Mad Stan. Of course, I feel like that could also be used to say that's why it would be after Eyewitness, because you could be like, yeah, but Eyewitness never made reference to the time Bruce thought Terry went AWOL. I just think that, like, in this, it's like a different enough situation because Bruce is the one who actually went AWOL. But that's just me. Would it be cool if Terry wore the actual Bruce Batsuit? Oh, for sure. I mean, it would be nice to see Terry kind of, try to be a Batman without all the powers of the new suit, right? Just so you would know that he is actually worthy of the mantle, so to speak. Had CW moved forward with Green Arrow and the Canaries, Terry could have appeared. It helps that he and Batwoman have the same color scheme. I haven't been keeping up with CW, but I'll take your word for that. Terry is grounded for 4 weeks following this, so if there's an inactive period, the story could fit there. True. Let me make a note of that as well. Let me see. Although I think they said it was 3 weeks, not 4 weeks. Are you placing Sinzu and the webcomic continuation on the timeline, or are they non-canon? I'm placing everything DCAU or DCAU adjacent on here, hopefully. This is going to be a blueprint for whatever we end up having on the Watchtower Database website. It's not going to necessarily be this exact timeline. But it's going to be... Oh, no, she did say make it 4, didn't she? But it's going to be something close to this. And hopefully we've been talking about like having a way to make it make it filterable, right? So that you can like take out stuff that just doesn't necessarily fit canon, or you can go by like character appearances and stuff like that. The Watchtower Database website's like a big, lofty goal, so I don't know how long it'll take for that to happen, especially since, you know, we obviously have not built the entire timeline yet. But that is the goal, essentially. Terry grounded for weeks. Boom. And then let me add that in over here. My phone keeps closing the chat on me. Let's see. Speak it out loud. I thought it'd be cool. I'd rather Terry wear the Nightwing suit. He did wear the Nightwing. He did wear the Nightwing, at least mask at one point. Since Terry is grounded for 4 weeks, this would need to occur in a bit of a lull. Pretty sure the comics continuation for Senzu is not canon. Yeah, I haven't read the full thing, but like it brings in a lot of stuff that's just like, huh, this doesn't make sense in the DCAU. Justice League Beyond would be dope. Yes, absolutely. Bunch of people saying hello. Really think a Green Arrow, the animated series, could still work really well. While he was a major character in JLU, there isn't really a lot known of his civilian life, city, or rogues gallery. Yeah, but I don't see them doing that before they do like a Wonder Woman animated series. Batman Beyond is just too good. Def top 5 of all time in DCAU. True. Yeah, he'll still be active as Batman, but like if there's anything that comes up, like he's watching TV or something, then we got to think about that. Barry's daughter from the future of CW/Arrowverse uses the term shui, so I'm reasonably sure Terry happens in said future. It's possible. Lobo web series is canon, right? I don't see any reason it wouldn't be. But that's something we'll have to assess at some point. It's been a while since I've actually looked at it, but from what I understand, it mostly happens off-world. There's not much of anything that contradicts Lobo's couple of DCAU appearances, and they use that character model in Gotham Girls at some point, so it makes sense to me to count it. Are the games, novels, and toys considered? So technically nothing is considered canon if it didn't happen on screen, according to Bruce Timm. However, what we're doing isn't called is it canon, it's called will it canon. It's about whether or not the thing fits, based off of, you know, what we know about the world of the DCAU. So, you know, that it's just a kind of a case-by-case situation. Okay, so this is an ink issue, and if I remember correctly, the ink issues are kind of weird because ink's trajectory inside of the show is kind of very well defined up until we get around to the call, where she just kind of shows up again without any mention of the last time she was there. So I don't know necessarily that we'll be able to place this one tonight, but we can certainly read through it. Either that, or we can skip it and go to the next one. I'm not sure. Watching an earlier part of the stream, be joining you guys in a bit. As for who to draw, Red X DCAU style. That'd be cool. Who's your favorite character to draw? Who's my favorite character to draw? I actually don't draw that often. Last time I drew was when that like 6 characters challenge thing was going on, and I drew someone. People said for me to draw Rocketeer, Zeta, the fancy version of Blue from Foster's Home, Rouge the Bat, Animal Man, and Ben 10. And most of them are not very good. I don't even know if you can see them on the stream just because of the resolution and everything. And they're not inked. It's all just pencil. So I don't draw too terribly often. Love Gotham Girls. A couple of hellos. They aren't really DCAU related, but you guys should play the Arkham games on stream. James is trying to set up making that happen. Who's your favorite Batman Beyond villain? Mine's Ink. I am a fan of Earthmover, and I know that like they don't really make more than one appearance, but that one episode was really good. But yeah, other than that, as far as recurring characters, Ink is a pretty good one. Let's see if we can figure out placing this Ink story in the timeline tonight. Where can you find line art model sheets of the entire Justice League Unlimited crew turnarounds? Your guess is as good as mine. I know some of the artists for that show are on Instagram and post some of that stuff, but you're not gonna find it all in one spot right now. We're working on trying to make all of that available through the website and everything. But like I said earlier, the website is kind of it's kind of a slow burn getting to it, because the idea at first was to do the website and then make videos to add to pages on the website, and then you guys really started liking the videos and we started getting a little bit of money off of them, so things kind of switched around to making videos about things that will eventually have website stuff, but the videos themselves probably won't make sense to put on the website pages, and I think James is the one who's got the whole back end of the website and everything. I have no access to any of it, so now that he's got a baby and everything, it might make it take even longer. I really do not know. But here is Ebony Tears. Ugh, man, this guy is strong and fast.
Turn on the vid so I can see him.
You don't mind if I duck first, do you? There, the vid's on. It looks like this guy's solid rock.
Must be the suit. I want a closer look.
How do you expect me to manage that?
Improvise.
This close enough?
Never seen this kind of armor before. Amazing, totally pliable, yet it appears to have the tensile strength of steel.
Tell me about it. But he still has one soft spot I can reach. Crack! Dude, Batman just fucking threw that guy off of the side of however many stories up they are. R.I.P. him.
You alright?
Yeah, but he's still got the goods and hunk. I luckily just missed the Midnight Express. Swoosh! I'm going after him. Hey, buddy! Huh? The guy in the black suit, did you see where? Ah! Well, he wasn't any help. Looks like I lost our man in black. Vroom. Vroom. One sec, On second thought, I think he just found me.
Or at least one of his friends did.
You're right, this is a different guy. Oh, there it goes.
I'd suggest you get out of his way. Fast.
Thought I'd hitch a ride instead. Whoa!
What was that?
I keep fucking up my Bruce Wayne voice. I think he's trying to shake me. Ugh. Definitely trying to shake me. Got it. Arg. Arg.
Terry, wake up! You're falling!
Huh? Crash. Ooh. Gotham University Club rooftop pool members only. Splash.
Still with us.
I guess let me put Gotham University in our locations, and I guess the Batcave again. Since Bruce is in the Batcave. Yeah, the water softened the fall. I've got the case. Hey, how the heck did he get there so fast?
I think you mean she.
Damn, this little dude in his Speedo in the background, just like straight out. Ugh. It's all spread out for everyone to see. Another one? Are they everywhere? Oof, what the heck? Ooh. Gotta get this guy to a hospital. Sorry, Bruce, they got away with the stuff.
It's alright, I'm betting we'll see them again. This isn't their first hit in Gotham. There have been other thefts by individuals matching the description of the Black Armored Gang.
That suit was really high-end. They've got to have some serious financing.
They could be another arm of Cobra. Although, the merchandise they've been stealing seems like small change for that group.
What kind of merchandise?
Hard currency items that can be used like cash, only more negotiable and less traceable. Diamonds, rare coins, collectibles.
Sounds like the perfect form of payment for illegal transactions.
It is, but it's also hard to find most of it is in the hands of private collectors, spread around. Not many places where enough of it is collected in one place to make a heist worth pulling.
Evening, Miss Hammersmith. Good evening, Charlie. I just came to visit. Get something from my safe deposit box. What do you think the name of this bank is? Gotham, there's an NA. Probably like financial, maybe?
She's a little weird.
Saturday night and she spends it visiting her precious whatevers that she keeps locked away in the vault. What do you think? Thank you, Freddy. I'll stop by the desk when I'm done so you can lock up like I always do. I always do that. Shut up already. You're going to give yourself away. I'm not very good at this. I'm sorry.
Did you say something, Miss H?
No, I didn't. Nothing. Sorry. Sorry? You'll get a lot sorrier if I get caught. I'm doing the best I can. I told you I'm not a very good liar. Believe me, if I didn't need you, you wouldn't be here. Please, you're hurting me. Just remember, I'll do a lot worse if you tell anyone about this. I said I wouldn't tell. Good. Now I need to get to work. And she starts breaking all the money out. Gasp. Now pick it up, all of it. Are you all right? I will be soon enough, but for now, I still need you. Now get us out of here and don't do or say anything stupid, or your black necklace will become a real choker, understand? Yes. Oh, is he trying to come in here? I believe the boy wants to be on stream. Hey, buddy. Hello. Mwah. What are you coming? Oh. You don't want to be on stream? You know you're live in front of at least 50 people right now, buddy. You could at least be nice and say hello to them. Give him a little wave to the camera. Hello. Is that all you wanted, Archer? You just wanted to tell the people? You just wanted to let them know that you love them? That you are thankful that they watch our videos so that we can afford to keep the lights on right now? That's what he wanted to let you all know. He said thank you. He's been going through a rough patch lately. He's been having urinary issues, and as a result, we've had to put him through us giving him fluids 3 times a week for the past couple months. So we got to stick a needle in him, 3 times a week. and pump fluids into him so that he doesn't get blockage when he's trying to pee. And of course, since that was happening, he's been having a couple other health problems here and there. Right now, he's been going on a bit of a hunger strike, which is unfortunate. We're not sure what that is all about, but he just hasn't been wanting to eat his food, unless we found out last night and this morning that he's okay to eat if it's directly out of my hand. So I've been having to, whenever we give him food, I've been having to double check and see if I've got to, hand feed him now. But we did get him an appetite accelerant from the vet today. So hopefully that'll fix the situation. But it's very touch and go right now. The vets don't really know what's happening with him most of the time, and they're all doing their best to try to figure it out. So hopefully he does better soon. But really though, it is greatly appreciated that you all watch the content and watch through the ads and everything. That way we've got money to deal with this situation. I know I've said it before on the channel, but when the pandemic started, both my job and my fiance's job and Ted and James's jobs all shut down. So right now, the channel is basically my primary income, and it's nowhere near as much as I was making at the food truck I was working on. Buddy, you're shedding all over the place. I gotta put you somewhere. I get allergic reactions to you when you do this. But yeah, it's not as much income as I was making beforehand when I had the food truck I was working at and the channel as a secondary income. But it is helpful in lieu of local government paying me my unemployment checks that they've had frozen up for the past couple months now, and we wouldn't be able to be helping Archer to the degree that we've been able to if it weren't for you all. So thank you all for your support over the past year. It's greatly appreciated. I'm going to go through the chat real quick. Actually, you know what? I'm going to run and get water on my hands and face so I'm not itching and having an allergic reaction all over the place. And then I'll come back, go through the chat, and we'll hop back into this issue. Give me just one sec, guys. All right, there we go. Much better. Let me hop back through the chat real quick. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Let's see. How cool would it have been if Ben 10 had been part of the DCAU? I guess is what you're asking. I'm going through Ben 10 right now for the first time. And I'm hoping that I like the second series more than I've been liking the first series. That's been like a whole discussion in the Discord lately. Do you think Terry will ever wear the cape suit again? I don't know. Earth Mover is such a great episode. Curare is another solid. Yes, Curare is so fucking cool. It's so weird to see Mattie with a mustache. Yeah, it is. It's definitely weird. I guess this is only the second time it's been seen on the YouTube channel itself. If you've been on Twitch with us, then you know it was like the result of a shaving accident. And I just didn't have time to get the mustache off before stream. And then everyone said keep the mustache. So I figured I might as well for the time being. Wouldn't it have been cool if Static Shock actually did get action figures that weren't just League Unlimited related, but Static Shock? He got one other action figure as part of a Subway kids meal. Let's see. Okay, so someone else did already. Someone else already did mention the Static Shock thing. Let's see. Are we counting the cave and Wayne Manor as two different locations? I feel like they kind of count as two different locations, right? The cave is under Wayne Manor, but it isn't Wayne Manor. I love this content. Thank you from Noni M with a $1.99 donation. Thank you so much, Noni. We appreciate the support. Oh, James came back for a sec. Would you happen to know why there was a Batgirl made for the original DC Animated Universe New Adventures of Batman and back in the... I'm not sure what you're saying there. Would you happen to know why there wasn't a Batgirl made with the original DC Animated Universe New Adventures of Batman and back in the... I'm not sure what's going on there. Cobra only really shows up in Season 3 and later appearances like Future Shock. So this issue would probably be around the time of Inkling and the Call. So while Cobra only shows up in those issues, like towards that time period, in Unmasked, Terry specifically says that the flashback portion of that happened pretty shortly after he became Batman, and that whole flashback portion deals with Cobra. As well as like now we've got Cobra at least as far back as when BTAC takes place, and we've got from the Batman Beyond guidebook, it says Cobra's been around for a couple of centuries. So you know it is interesting, but I don't think that necessarily holds it into a certain place in the timeline. I like how they drew the speech bubbles, the mentioned Cobra, so is this after play? Okay, so it's Kitty Break. Hi, who hates Doomsday Clock? Oh, they said hello back to you, Archer. So sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's been a rough time trying to take care of him, but you know, it's you do what you can. Okay, and James already said the unmasked part. You guys are absolutely incredible. I wouldn't waste the Watchtower Database videos for the world. I love watching you. Well, thank you, Ronald. Question, would you guys make more money from us watching the Watchtower Database channel or the Pod Tower channel, or does it matter? Right now, Watchtower Database is the only one of the two channels that are monetized. As James said just a little bit later, Pod Tower can't be monetized until we reach 1,000 subs. So you know, if you are watching this right now and you haven't subbed to Pod Tower yet, go ahead and do that, and it'll make that you know, more monetizable in the near future. Let's see. Pod Tower is mostly there for convenience. Yes, for now, but it's gonna be a big boy thing. Let's see. I forgot Unmasked's flashback was so early on, but it makes sense since Max wasn't around yet. Once the pandemic is over and I have some money to spend, I'll donate to your Patreon. You guys are my favorite YouTube channel. Well, thank you. I really wish I was in a position to support you guys on Patreon. Your videos are top notch. Well, you know what? If you can't afford being a patron, there's no need to feel bad about it, right? I appreciate the sentiment at the very least. Batman Adventures Volume 1 is canon. Like I said earlier, as per, you know, Bruce Timm, Essentially, nothing's canon if it's not on screen. But what we do isn't called "Is it canon?" It's called "Will it canon?" Right? And the way that we look at it is all of these people made all of this other official media that was intended to be part of that universe. So if you can fit it in, why wouldn't you? Is the way I look at it. It really expands and deepens the lore of the universe. All of the tie-in comics, the video games, all that stuff. So like, if you like the DCAU, why wouldn't you want more DCAU? Ben 10 Ultimate Alien in Alien Force or Its Dark is as good as Justice League Unlimited. Even has the same kind of sound effects. It feels. It's funny because that pandemic video you guys made was awesome, but Terry would have already gone through the pandemic. We didn't make that video. That was something that was done for DC Fandom, and we screen recorded it and put it up for archival purposes, just because from what we were told, it was never going to be broadcast or put anywhere else ever again, and we wanted to make sure that it didn't get lost to time, because that's DCAU history now. Ink Tank has been struggling over the past year to try to get their second channel monetized. YouTube keeps saying no. Yeah, I've heard that happen in some people's cases. Alien Force is really stiff and it goes downhill fast. Well, I'll have to see for myself. But from what everyone's been telling me, it does sound like there's mixed opinions there, but it does sound like it's going to be the show that I'm going to enjoy more so than the original series. They seem to get more active in Gotham later in the Beyond era. Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, let's see. Back into the comic. Now, get us out of here and don't do or say anything stupid or your black necklace will become a real choker. Understand? Yes.
Have a nice night, Miss Hammersmith.
Wait, stop her! Stop her! Yes, thank you.
What does she do?
She ransacked the safe deposit boxes. Please don't hurt me, you don't understand.
Oh, we understand.
Oh, no, you don't. Oof! Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Oh!
I don't want to have to hurt you, Miss H. Ugh!
Funny, I don't mind hurting you. No, don't hurt him! Lady, who are you talking to?
She's batty, just shoot her!
Wait, no, don't shoot, don't shoot! Don't be such a girly girl, Smithy. Go ahead, boys, shoot!
What the heck? Who said that? No, get off me! What are you doing?
Borrowing your form for a while. Hope you don't mind. This issue feels like it's giving Ink more of a symbiote type vibe than a Clayface type vibe.
Roof!
Freddy, what are you doing? He's doing exactly what I make him do. Maybe you'd like to see what it feels like. Ah!
Oof!
Man, I still have like cat hair. I tried so hard to get all of it off of me, but my nose is itching like a fiend. You again! Ink! I thought you were dead! Because I wanted you to think that. Yep! You men, get away from her! Quickly! Or get away from here! Quickly! So I'm trying to think. Thinking she was dead, wouldn't that make it after Blackout? I feel like were there any other ones where they thought she was dead? What comic on the screen? It's Batman Beyond issue number 2 from the second series. There were 2 different series. The first one was 6 issues. The second one's 24 issues. They both started in 1999, so it's kind of hard to differentiate between the two. So I gotta mention the issue count, that way you know. I don't want to have to hurt you and your kicking dress. All right. Let's see. Let's see. I thought you were dead. Yeah. So thinking she was dead, wouldn't that? Like I feel like that's blackout. We can look at the ink appearances on the wiki in a little bit. But now that the goo's out of the bag, nothing to stop me from making a direct assault. Yep. Really? You don't look like you're totally in control of yourself, Ink. What's the matter? Having a hard time keeping it together? Make your jokes, but all I need is something solid to wrap myself around. Like you! And I'm as good as solid myself! You should work out well. With your stamina, you'll probably last longer than the others. They tired out so quickly. I'm not so sure I want to play piggyback with you, Ink. You think you have a choice? Wine! Arf, wine! GCFD. So we know Gotham City Fire Department is GCFD. So that's something. Go to next. Clonk! Yeah! Water! Not fair! Oof, as if you play. Fair? Huh? She took over the dog! Look at the dog's all symbioted out and stealing the purse. I skipped it. Where the heck did she go?
That's why you never saw more than one of the black armored men at a time. The black armor was Ink. The homeless man in the train station was the first. When he tired out, she left him and jumped to the motorcyclist you found unconscious in the museum. She can't hold on to her shape anymore, not without help. No way to pick anything up, move anything, steal anything. The only way she could get what she wanted was to envelop another shape.
But what is she stealing all this stuff for? What could she possibly need or want?
She wants to be herself again.
Gotham Med Labs under construction, opening soon. Add that to what I've already given you, and it should be sufficient payment. Let's go ahead. Let's see. Did I have the Gotham Med Labs? Oh shoot! I already had Gotham University over here. Let's see. Gotham Med Labs. Yep, there they are. Let's move that over to locations. And it looks like these are gonna be items, so I'll go ahead and move those. Oh, that's the timeline. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Sufficient payment. Yes, well, you know, I only asked you for enough to defray my own expenses. I guess that makes you a good guy then, huh, Melwin? Not a money-grubbing extortionist? Now, can you do what I asked or not? Can you reverse the damage? Turn me back into a human being again? I told you before, I don't know. Maybe. You helped develop the mutagens that first turned me into Ink. If you can't do it, then no one can. At one time, turning you back might have been easy, but while in this state, you've suffered too many assaults on your biochemistry. You're not the same as you were when we first mutated you. You think I can't tell I've changed? I can barely hold myself together anymore. The changes to your DNA make any mutagenic manipulation dangerous, unpredictable. It might not work, or you might end up with zero cohesion. You'd fall apart, or worse, too much cohesion. You'd turn solid. It might make you totally and completely human again. That's what I want. No, you don't. Believe me, once you've been special, like you are, living like an ordinary human again will be unbearable. That might be the worst of all. But it's my choice to make. Now give it to me. Alright, but remember what I said. Ah! Ah! Oh! Did it? It worked. It really worked. I'm transformed. but not changed. You're still responsible for the crimes you committed. Only now you've made it easier for me to take you in. No, I won't let you take her. She's defenseless. And now that she's human again, she deserves to be left alone. You underestimate me, both of you. I was able to take care of myself long before I became Ink. Ah, no, don't! What have you done? Given us a diversion. Are you coming or not? I'm making it worse.
Must be some kind of chemical fire. It's burning at too fast a rate to be normal. Get out of there, fast!
Kwashoom. You don't understand. That was an experimental autogenic fuel. The fire will engulf this whole building. The better to divert our pursuer. We're hit. Don't worry, I can control it. Damn, and Terry's got his whole arm is missing. No, you can't. I told you, this fire won't stop till it exhausts all the burnable materials. Jump, it's our only chance. Really? Remind me to explain the concept of out of the frying pan into the fryer to you someday.
You better get them fast. The fires are damaging the structural integrity of the building. It's liable to collapse in on itself.
Ow, man, my bare arm is really feeling the heat. I wish that it was like actually the arm of a bear. Like he had spliced himself. That'd be a neat, funny, silly thing. Make it a pun instead of just a word. They keep drawing him in like pretty silly positions and stuff, and I'm loving it. Right? We got the big ears last one. We're getting the Naruto run here. We got Sonic the Hedgehog Batman. Naruto running Batman. Raiding Area 51 Batman. Just what I've always wanted out of Batman. Come on, I could take both of you. We're not going with you. You're not taking me in.
What? Ink? Are you crazy? This building's going to collapse.
Let it. No one captures Ink. I'll find a way out. There is no other way out. I like that the implication here is that her whenever she changed, she was just wearing a onesie, and it just so happened to look like this. That's gotta be terribly inconvenient for whenever she needs to use the restroom. Let's see. Thanks for covering these. Yeah, I think they may think she's dead at the end of Disappearing Ink, and Blackout Terry delivers her frozen to GCPD. True. At the end of Blackout, she's delivered to Gordon in ice, presumed dead after Disappearing Ink and after Inkling. Okay, it's also possible because there was an issue she showed up in the first series, so it might even be a reference to that. The water reference makes me think they're talking about the first option. Yap. The most important quote in the DCAU. Second is wine, arf, wine. Which reminds me of what was the dog's name from the Wings of War book when we were reading that? Oh my god. Shelby the Smooth Collie. What if that's who that dog was? Yap Dog will become Terry's ace. I'm down for that. This would work good after Inkling in that it explains why her suddenly being back in the call isn't treated as a big deal. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The Ink symbiote comparison is super apt. Damn, dude. Alex, you really seem to be on about Doomsday Clock for some reason. I don't know why. That comic's like a couple years ago. Just come on, break out of it, man. You don't gotta make your dislike for this 1 year's old comic your entire personality. I believe in you. You can let it go. You can love again. You can find something that you enjoy rather than sounding the bells for however long you've been doing so. I get disliking a thing. I get it. Because there are things that I dislike, that especially like even things that people think are popular and they like, but like don't let your dislike for a thing become who you are, right? Like you don't gotta keep harping on the one note. You're here with a bunch of people who are here because they enjoy the DCAU. They enjoy Batman Beyond. You know, that's what we're talking about right now. That's what we're doing. You could talk about how much you like DCAU, how much you like Batman Beyond. Become part of the community, and it's become part of the conversation that we're having about the things we're talking about. You don't gotta drag the 2 or 3 year old comic that you don't like into being the entirety of who you are and how I and these other people perceive you to be. You know, you can let it go. You can live a life past Doomsday Clock, and it's gonna be okay. You can show up on Tuesdays where James is reading Justice League Adventures. He's about to start going into Justice League Unlimited. Maybe that's a comic you'll like. Or show up now where I'm reading Batman Beyond. Maybe you'll like this comic. You know, it doesn't all just have to be about what we dislike. We don't gotta just harp on that for forever. It doesn't add anything to make that into the entirety of your personality. Like, I get that it was cool to dislike Doomsday Clock. I get that it's not necessarily the best follow-up to Watchmen, and there's a lot of things that kind of seemed funky just because of the release schedule and everything on it. And we get it. That's all I gotta say about Doomsday Clock. I remember enjoying reading it, but I don't remember. I don't remember a lot of what happened in it. So whatever. Let's see. Terry McGinnis has good metabolism. I like Doomsday Clock. There you go, James. Nice impression of Bruce. Well, thank you, Caps Lock. What's the difference between Batman and a regular bath? The regular bath has parents. Did you mean a regular bat? Do baths have parents? Does my shower have a mom and dad? I think people should probably form their own opinions on it or like something. Yes. I don't think necessarily that they're a troll. I just think that they got really probably really pulled into an echo chamber of disliking the comic based on whoever's opinion they got, and just wanted to make that part of who they are as a person. And I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But I don't think they're coming in here with ill intent to troll. I think that they think it's an important conversation for them to have for some reason. When in reality, it's not. It's not the end of the world if you don't like a comic. I always wanted a Batman Beyond movie with Keanu Reeves as a protagonist. Interesting. Young Keanu. Basically the same person as Terry McGinnis. Yeah, but young Keanu doesn't exist anymore. So, Does Terry have good metabolism? I don't know. I don't know if that's ever been covered. I like Batman Beyond. I have never read any of the comics. Oh, you're in for a ride, especially if we're gonna end up reading all of the comics. You're in for a ride. The Earth 12 stuff gets kind of nuts. In both good and bad ways. Terry's logo looks orange in this shot, almost yellow. No, but maybe. I could see it, but don't tell James. I want to see the insider suit in the DCAU, then have it become the Hellbat suit. Doomsday Clock publication date 2017 to 2019. Yeah. This is starting to make me want to read Doomsday Clock just to see what all the fuss is about. Yeah, I mean it's a fine story, but it's not like it's not a good follow-up to Watchmen is my opinion. But that's just me. A bit off topic, but the music when Earth Mover first appears is badass. True. What do I think of Robin Beyond? You know, I haven't really read many new comics since the start of the pandemic, so the Robin Beyond stuff is a bit off of my radar. Personally, Batman Beyond was one of the comics I had been keeping up with, and then pandemic hit. My comic shop closed down for good, went out of business. So I'll catch up one day. Why did you think there was a permanent bat signal at the end of Batman Beyond? I don't know. Let's see. Drake Bell would probably make a good live action Terry McGinnis. I could see that. I feel like even he's getting a little too old for it though. Maybe like an epilogue era Terry McGinnis. Let's see. So where were we? No one captures ink. I'm taking you out of here, whether you want me to or not. Only if you can hold on to me. Ah! Human or not, I can take care of myself. Oof. Boom. Ugh. Ink, you're human now. The fall will kill you. Let me help. I'd rather die. No! Ink! No, Ink! And Terry drags Melvin or whatever his name is out. Come on, dig. What is up with his jazz hands? Like, oh my god. Like, Craig Rousseau, buddy. I love you. Your style's fantastic. And this is definitely on the earlier end of your professional career. But jazz hands Batman with the proportions all kind of wonky like that. That just looks so silly. Oh my god. I just like I was saying, we got Big Ears Batman, we got Naruto running Batman. Now we've got jazz hands Batman. Oh, he is a beautiful, beautiful boy. I love him. It's too late. If she survived the fire, there's no way she survived the fall. And even if she did, she's buried under the whole building. It'll take hover dozers and anti-grav cranes days to reach her. Ugh. Maybe if you just look down, you'd see her. I warned her. I told her she couldn't go back. Ugh. Okay, assess the situation. Broken ribs, broken legs, head gash, maybe concussion. She'd forgotten what it meant to be merely human. I'd forgotten about pain. Human pain. I must be fading, though. That the pain is diminishing. Funny, I'm dying, but I feel good. Better than I have in a long while. Drip, drip, drip. Blood loss, delusions, I'm sure. Unless... Well. Looks like Melwyn was right. I couldn't save her, Bruce.
She didn't want to be saved. Not by you.
I know that. But it doesn't help.
Good.
Huh?
The day that someone's death doesn't bother you is the day that I start to worry. Besides, I never count someone as out until they find the body. And even then...
We only get one life, Bruce.
I knew a woman once who had 9 of them.
The end. Do we think that places this after the episode where he's like, let me tell you about a woman named Selena Kyle? Right? Because that would be at that point I feel like Terry would know. Oy. But I guess we got a couple ink things to go through to try to figure out where exactly this place is. Have you seen the fan dub of Batman Beyond called Batman Beyond ILL? I have not. I know nothing about that. He really looks like him today, hairstyle and all. I could see it. Maybe. Terry's got hairy Wolverine arms. With the glass ceiling broken, all the oppressed groups shall prosper, especially the most oppressed group of all, gamers. That's in quotes. Is this in reference to something? And was I supposed to read that in my Bruce Wayne voice?
With the glass ceiling broken, all the oppressed groups shall prosper, especially the most oppressed group of all, gamers.
If Batman dresses as a mammal, role-plays cat and mouse with Catwoman, who also dresses as an animal and kissed Cheetah in Justice League Unlimited, does that make him a furry? Bro, Batman's been a furry since day one. Dabbing Batman. That is, hold on. Let's go back to cuz man, how do I get out of this? How do I get out of this little menu thing? There's no X button on it. And if I hit browse more books, it's going to take me, damn it, it's already gone. It's already gone. Let's see if we can just go back to Batman Beyond number 2. Ink is like if Poison Ivy and Clayface had a daughter. I could see that. No, take me back to number 2. What's crazy is that if you try to look up these Batman Beyond comics, they are practically non-existent on Wikipedia and or anywhere else online. Huh, interesting. What is Catwoman's final appearance? Well, timeline-wise, if you want to count the comics, I would say probably Batman Adventures Volume 2. That quote I posted is said by Willie Watt as he busts out of the penitentiary. Oh, okay, yeah. I have seen that. Now that you mention it. Someone's comment got hidden because it had the word dick in it. Would you ever want to see a solo Robin animated series, either having Dick or Tim as Robin, and it being based off the solo Robin comic from the 90s/early 2000s? There was for a very short amount of time, there was talk about a potential Dick Grayson Robin animated series. So that would have been interesting to see. And I think that doing it around Dick Grayson would probably be, especially if we're setting in the DCAU, would be the better idea, because like he's away at college, even though Gotham, like the college is in Gotham, during Batman the Animated Series. So I feel like it probably gives him some room to kind of do a couple cases on his own. So that could be fun. To be fair, Bruce being an old man and telling young people stories they've been told over and over again is pretty believable. True. That exchange about Ink not wanting to be saved sounds like a reference to the Bruce/Alfred exchange at the end of Mask of the Phantasm. I could see that as well. So let's see. Let's see what we can find out about our Ink. Let's see. Hold on. How do I go back to the menu? Because I do want to just double check with the other Ink comic. This UI is not terribly friendly. There it is. I don't know why it wasn't showing up for me until just then. Let me open a link in new tab. That way I can pull up the other comic, and let me pull up Ink on the wiki. My mortal enemies, the DCAU wiki that I use way too often because the Watchtower Database website doesn't exist yet. They're not my mortal enemies, but I have gotten into some arguments with the wiki mods. It's very strange to me to have a DCAU wiki and then like limited in scope when there's so much more stuff they could put on here. That is DCAU. And like I know that like their whole thing is like, no, we're going explicitly by what's canon in the TV shows. But like, there's, you know, you could even at the very least do like merchandising and stuff, have merchandising pages. But what do I know? So we said disappearing Ink and Inkling are the two places where she could have potentially been deaded, RIP'd. And this Let's see. It says this released October 27th, 1999. Is that correct? Or is that the cover date? Because the cover date is usually about 2 months different from the actual release date. Okay, yeah. It says this came out December 99 on the cover. So October 27th, 1999 is probably the correct. So Disappearing Ink was in May. Did she die in this episode? In the last scene, Aaron... No, we don't care about Aaron. Ink begins to melt away. She lurches desperately towards the flask containing the remaining mutagen, but falls short and dissolves away into the drains. Bruce recovers from the fight without ill effects. Okay, so it's possible that she could be dead here. Let me see if I can get that other Ink appearance up from the mini series, and we can make a comparison real quick. See if maybe she's supposed to be dead there. See if we've got 3 different places. But I do think that that Inkling like specifically references the events of this book, or not book, but of this episode. So it might have to be after Inkling. Batman reminds Ink that the last time he saw her, she was washed away in a storm, referring to Disappearing. So yeah, so we like Inkling would have to be after Disappearing Ink. So whether it was intended to or not, Batman Beyond #2 would have to happen after Inkling, which came out September 2000. So it definitely was not intended to be, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. See, if they do bring back the DCAU, what sort of mysteries do you think they'll cover? You know, I don't know, because I gotta be honest, without Dwayne McDuffie attached, and with the way that that Bruce Timm has been saying that, you know, at least around the time of Batman and Harley Quinn, that he didn't go back and watch anything to make sure things line up. Like I don't know specifically if they'll really dive deep into like lore bits and continuity driven stories. So I don't know if they'll like try to do any mysteries from. Oh, dagnabbit, I clicked the wrong series. Or any mysteries from the original DCAU lore, but I could see them maybe doing like a, you know, something like with the Batman Adventures Continues figures that didn't make it through, right? So like maybe a Court of Owls thing or a Flashpoint thing has potential to happen. Like, whatever they do, I just feel like it's going to be kind of disconnected as its own pocket story. Okay, Ink was in #6 here. And this was released in June of 1999. So this would have come out after Disappearing Ink. So let's see. I don't know that I'm gonna go through this whole comic right now and read it. Oh, can I not just look at... Okay, page browser, there it is. Let's see. Does he think she's dead here? Let's see. I couldn't save her, Bruce. You can't save everybody, Terry, but she saved me. I don't know why, but she did, and she sacrificed herself to do it. Okay, so it's possible... Yeah, so it seems that he thinks Ink is dead following the situation here. So now I guess we gotta figure out... Is there anything about the last time he sees her here. Will it give me the UI again so I can... There it is. Go to the early pages. Last I saw you, you were a long way from being whole. Let's just say I took some time off and got myself together. Okay, so this is probably a reference to Disappearing Ink, right? Because she got storm drained, and then homie thought she was dead. Though I feel like can that also be applicable for Inkling? Like I said, Ink's whole thing is kind of weird and hard to... Let's see, at the end of Inkling... See, Ink holds him helpless and is about to kill him when suddenly her body starts to dissolve and evaporate. So I guess that could work for Inkling. So I think that's what we're going to do, is say that these comics take place after Inkling. Let's see, the short Chase Me attached to Batman Mystery of the Batwoman was the last time we saw Catwoman, I think. Yeah, in animation that would be it, but like I said, she shows up in Batman Adventures Volume 2, and even in Chase Me, it's a dream sequence kind of situation. Do you think it's strange that there wasn't a stronger Green Lantern present in the DCAU? We got into Hawk Girl's lore more than the Green Lanterns. Like, do we even know John Stewart's origin? I mean, John Stewart's stuff was touched on here and there, right? How he had a military background, grew up being a comic geek, this, that, and the other. But, like, no, we don't know how he got his ring. There is an episode where we go back to J.S.'s old neighborhood and meet one of his old teachers. Huh? I'm not sure what you mean. I don't know who J.S. is. I'm super excited to see more DCAU material in the future that explores the stuff we didn't get to see now, like Hal and Guy being GLs. That would be cool. Do you think Eric Carrasco could be involved with the show? I would love it if he was. I think that's one of the biggest points that I've been trying to make about any possible DCAU revival, is that it seems as though just from, like I was saying about Bruce Timm's Batman and Harley Quinn comments, how he didn't go back to watch anything to make sure it lines up, or, you know, what we've been noticing with how lax Paul Dini and Alan Burnett have been with continuity as far as, like, Batman The Adventures Continues goes. And not just continuity, but also like character portrayal, like the Mr. Freeze in Nora's situation. How you know, Batman went from being this guy who's like super understanding of Freeze's situation to now being, no, you're crazy and I have to prove you're crazy by kicking your wife's corpse onto the floor. Like it doesn't seem like Dini and Burnett really have gone back and relived in that world. So from my personal standpoint, I think it would make a lot of sense to bring on people who grew up with that world and have a strong connection to it based off of nostalgia and everything, and let them kind of be the main driving narrative force, and you know, Bruce, Paul, Alan being there just to be like, yeah, you know, here's an idea, you write a script on it, kind of situation. Am I wrong, or does Mr. Fix come back in these tie-in comics? I know he's in the first two of the mini-series because it's a rebirth situation, but I don't know if he comes back as a full character. Can you talk about in the Justice League vs. Fatal 5 in the Hall of Statues for former League members, how come Huntress is in one of them even though she was taken out of the Justice... I mean, that's thousands of years into the future. I don't think it matters that much. She was a Justice League member. She could have returned to the Justice League. It's not that hard to just apply a little bit of imagination and come up with a reason. Honorary statue, perhaps. She was removed, but she was a member. Yeah, exactly. To be honest, I just want to see the DCAU's take on all of the storylines from the 2000s. They were adapting rather than recent stuff like bringing in Batman Who Laughs. That's fair. TNBA Batman was the roughest Batman. Yeah, he was a bit more angsty there. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is follow up Inkling with these comics and then have them go into the call. That's not going to be a good screenshot. Let me get it. Let me go from the bottom up. There we go. Let's save that as, what is this? This is Batman Beyond number 6 from the miniseries. Ink dissolved. Oh, that's the spreadsheet. Have you read all the Batman Beyond comics from the actual DC Universe continuity? Oh, I was just speaking on that a little bit earlier. So I was keeping up with them. I mean, I haven't read Future's End, but I was keeping up with the Rebirth comics. Oh, Jesus Christ! Why is it acting as if it has to reload the whole timeline? I was keeping up with the Rebirth series. But when the pandemic started, my money was kind of goofed up for a little bit there, and it's gotten back to that place now. But it was pretty goofed up for a little while, and I wasn't able to go pick up my my comic subscriptions. And the next thing you know, my comic shop was going out of business, and I have not been able to. I haven't been able to pick up more comics since then, so I am a bit behind. And I know that like I could easily just read them online, but I'm trying to put my time into so many different things right now that catching up on comics is pretty low on the list for the time being. But I do hope to get back into all of it soon. I've actually got like I pulled out all of my my comic boxes right here. I've been trying to kind of price them, get rid of my single issues, and get trade collections. And I feel like that might be the way that I get back into reading them is getting the trade versions, putting them up on my shelf, and reading them as I go. But even then, the main goal with selling the comics would definitely be more so making a little bit of money than getting the trade collections. It just like. I don't want to get rid of this stuff, so if I can, get a collected version of it and have a little bit of money left over, that's the way to go. Lag, yeah, I know there's lag. My computer doesn't like to really load things, so when the timeline itself tries to reload in, it just ends up lagging. James does have a better computer on hold for me, but I haven't been able to go down to get it from him, and I don't know if that's gonna happen anytime soon either. I do know that like since he's gotten the coronavirus, it is less likely for him to get it a second time, almost near, not impossible, but like pretty close to a 0% chance. So it might happen soon, but I do know that he's also trying to be more cautious about it now than he was, just because of the fact of how uncomfortable the whole situation is, and not wanting to accidentally become a carrier, whether or not and pass it on to somebody else, whether or not it's harder for him to do so at this point or not. And props to him for, making that decision. Right? I mean, that's one of the main reasons that, like, I haven't tried to go out and get another job at the moment, because, getting a job with my resume essentially means it would either be customer service or food service, and if I'm able to skirt by and not be a conduit to passing the virus on for the time being, that's what I personally am more comfortable doing. So let's see. So this was Batman Beyond, Volume 1, Number 6. We're going to say is after Inkling, and then Volume 2, Number 2, we're going to say is after Number 6. So let's see. Where is my cover art? Though I do, I have been thinking about trying to get work, writing for an online publication, because the Watchtower Database stuff I feel like is easily transferable to that kind of line of work. I do not know any online publications that are hiring, that are work in the nerd sphere. So if any of y'all end up seeing anything like that, I would definitely not be opposed to it being sent my way. Let's see. While this line was more likely intended to be a reference to disappearing ink, the episode Inkling specifically indicates there were no stories with ink between the two episodes. As a result, to fit in, it has to be after ink dissolves in Inkling. And I think that there's one more ink issue, so I'm not going to necessarily put the line going back up to the call just yet, because it's possible that we're not going there yet. Batman Beyond Volume 2, Number 2. See, so that's from the ongoing, so there's that cover. I will make a line from here to here because they're not all in a perfect line like the episodes are up top. And then I guess let me close the issue 6 now that we have that in here. Let's see, where is the last time I saw you, I thought you were dead situation? Is it here? Was it when he was talking to Bruce? No. And this does make the Cobra reference work out pretty well, because it puts us and the reader or whatever after a point when Cobra is introduced in the show. So that's good. Let's see, where'd it go? Ink, I thought you were dead. There it is. And save as Ink BB2. Hush Beyond was pretty cool, I thought. Yeah, Hush Beyond was a fun time. If they ever reboot Batman the Animated Series, how do you think they should go about it? I feel like I've answered that one a couple times already. So I will say stay tuned for the upcoming video on it. I'm not sure how long it'll be till we get there, but we do have a video coming. Personally, I would like it to be an anthology series that hops around different points of Batman's timeline, but that's just me. Let's see. More DCAU Big Barda. Yes, please. You look like Ned from Simpsons. I'll take it. Poor James. I was so sad to hear he got sick. Yeah, it was a huge bummer, but I'm glad he was able to recover from it. I'm glad that his wife seems to be doing okay. Because I was talking to my sister, who is an epidemiologist that works in LA, right? So she specifically deals with sickness and viral outbreak and stuff along those lines. And she was saying that in I think like a quarter of cases with pregnant women, like they still end up feeling symptoms of COVID like months later. And it seems to be as though that's not what's going on in James's wife's case. So that's a really good thing. Hey Mattie, where can I find your band's music? Oh, well, I guess it depends which band specifically you are referring to. So I've been in multiple different bands. Only 2 of them have music online. One of them is the more rock and roll, hardcore kind of emo band that I was in, My Brother the Ocean, which you could find at mybrothertheocean.bandcamp.com. Our EP is also available on most streaming platforms, so you could look us up there. And then, other than that, I was in a weird. I don't know how to explain it to an audience of strangers, but essentially I was in this weird like hip-hop screamo fusion band with one of my best friends that we started kind of as a way to spoof off of the local metal bands in our area and how they like all thought like they were the most brutal, edgy things ever. And from there we ended up kind of going on to make a couple hip hop trope spoofs in an album, and made a couple of decent pop songs in my opinion. One of the songs from that ended up actually being the song that we're using for our Patreon party, and that group's called X Brutal Core X. And you're only going to be able to find that on Bandcamp. So that's xbrutalcorex.bandcamp.com. The Patreon party song is called Shenanigans. It's my favorite song out of the whole album, out of anything that we did with that band, really, because that was the one song that we were like, hey, let's actually just write a decent pop song instead of just making some jokes. Right, like I love the whole album. I love the whole project just on the basis of like the fun times I had with my friends, and the jokes are hilarious to me. But it's one of those things that I don't feel like a lot of people would be in on the jokes, and probably would write it off pretty quickly. But if you want to give it a shot. It's X Brutal Core X. Shenanigans is like the one song off of the album that I think has wider audience appeal. I know my mom told me whenever I sent it to her that she put it on her iPod and was using it as workout music. So that was a nice thing to hear. Doesn't DC Universe have a journalism department? They might. I think they do. You could try there. I know of a podcaster who applied and got a freelance gig there. He basically just writes articles about DC comic storylines and character studies. Huh. Yeah, now that you mention it, I could probably look and see if that's still a thing. I don't know if they still have that, though, since they moved on to DC Universe Infinite, where it's just a comics platform now, but maybe. Hey there, love this channel and have been keeping me up. Well, hey, thank you for loving the channel. I'm glad we're making stuff that you could appreciate. Just want to say how great Will Friedle's Batman voice was. Hard act to follow Kevin Conroy, but he does a great job doing a Batman voice that doesn't sound like Conroy, but is definitely still Batman. Oh, for sure. For sure. Let me see. So I think that's gonna be it for the comics tonight. We got through 2 issues reading, and we even placed a 3rd issue that we didn't read tonight, just based off of situation. Let me see though if I can get my my Google Drive up and running. Let me pull this off to a different tab since it's a window capture. If I can get my Google Drive up and running, I do have a Batman Beyond comic that's pretty short, and was actually not part of the Batman Beyond run, but is a tie-in to the Batman Beyond show. It was released in a one-shot called Adventures with the DC Superheroes, and that might be a fun thing to try to read as a winding down measure. For the evening. X Brutal Core X Shenanigans. Yes. What do you think about Gotham Knights, the game? Do you think we'll be able to see you guys play it? So currently I do not have a next-gen console, but I am really interested in Gotham Knights and in the Suicide Squad game. Like I said earlier, James is trying to figure out a setup to be able to play the Arkham games on stream. Specifically, I think he said the Arkham City with the DCAU skin. And I think Ted's working on a similar setup. For the time being, I'm personally not doing a lot more with my setup because, like I've said, I'm waiting on a computer from James. And so I don't want to try to force my computer to do more than it's able to do, right? Because as you've seen tonight, there are lag issues when I'm doing more than one thing at once, and that's going to continue to be a problem until I get a computer with more processing power. At the time, currently, my computer is less of a computer and more of a tablet. I'm using a Microsoft Surface with a keyboard and mouse plugged into it. So it's not built for even the amount of stuff that I do on it now, I feel like. But once I get that computer from James and we're able to set things up in a proper manner, I do hope that streaming more current games will be a thing in all of our futures, right? Because Ted's not the only one who has a monopoly on video games, just like James isn't the one who has a monopoly on comics, and I don't have a monopoly on reading books to you all. Ultimately, I believe one of those newer games is going to be multiplayer. So I would think that ultimately we would all end up kind of goofing around with it. In one way or another. So hopefully it's in the future, but it's not necessarily in the cards until we get there. We'll have to see how it goes. Let's see. I believe DC Universe Infinite still has the articles and stuff. I think that podcaster I mentioned announced he was still going to be contributing work to them, so you may be able to apply. I'll definitely have to check that out. What's up? Oh, the phone charger? Yeah. Here you go. Let's see. Remember when Batman fought a guy in the sewers who brainwashed a bunch of children? I do remember that. Watchtower Database is definitely a great resume note. Also that time Batman got amnesia. Those were weird times. Oh, Gotham Knights is gonna be on PS4. Well, that might make things a little bit more accessible for me. Though, like I said, I do not have a computer that's very good at processing things for the time being. So it's gonna be up in the air either way, even if it is on PS4. Let's see, Will Friedle is low-key my favorite and overall most underrated voice actor in my opinion. Pops up every now and then, but not so much you get tired of hearing him. Yeah, I do like Will Friedle. He's a pretty cool dude. I was really glad we had the chance to interview him back in 2019. Jesus, that sounds so long ago. Why is this? Oh my God, my Google Drive's being kind of weird with me. So I might not be able to pull up this last comic as a wind down thing. Oh, no, hold on. Let me see. I think I got in. Maybe. No? All right, I'm going to refresh the page one more time and try to pull it up. He's incredibly versatile. I loved my surface. Wrote a lot of college papers on that. Yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoy it as well. But I do need just for the fact that, you know, it's kind of have an online job now, so I definitely need a better computer, especially with we're wanting for me to start kind of relearning video editing, I guess I should say. I used to be into making AMVs and stuff way back in the day, but I kind of let go of video editing like over a decade ago, so I'm out of practice. But now that James has a baby, he needs the extra help. Gotham Knights is supposed to be dropping co-op. Watching you and Ted and or James slay as Robin and Nightwing would be sick. Oh, for sure. It'd definitely be a lot of fun. There's also that time when a lot of rich Gothamites married a bunch of plant people. In my opinion, even crazier than critters. True. Okay, I've got it open. So this was a one shot. I believe it was like a send in milk UPCs or something situation, and you get this. So it's not very common, and it's definitely not on DC Universe because it's more of a promotional thing than a part of a comic series. And it seems that they're not very good at keeping track of promo comics and stuff. But there's a couple Batman Beyond things in here. We have this Beyond Television behind the scenes with Batman. We could read this. Maybe there will be something interesting in here. Let me see if I can get the zoom in a little bit. So you claim to be the world's biggest Batman Beyond fan, huh? You know that this super series stars teen crime fighter Terry McGinnis, and that in addition to dealing with normal teenager stuff like juggling school and homework with a social life, Terry also has a secret part-time job as Batman. But do you know what it takes to bring Terry's anime? After spending some time behind the scenes of the Kids WB series, we've learned that bringing Terry to life is just as hectic and exciting as, well, his life. It takes 4 producers, Bruce Timm, Paul Dini, Alan Burnett, and Glenn Murakami, to supervise the creation of each Batman Beyond episode. Their team includes directors, writers, artists, actors, and musicians who work on each episode for almost 8 months. We all work together as a team, Bruce explains. It takes a long time, and there's a lot There's a lot that has to happen as each show is produced. Is there ever? Before a single episode aired, the team spent a lot of time designing the look of the show. This includes all the backgrounds, buildings, cars, and characters you see each week, including Batman's futuristic costume. In the end, it took 10 to 15 sketches to come up with the Batsuit, says Bruce, who designed Terry's disguise. I decided to cover up the face, and I didn't want a cape, so I came up with retractable wings. After they knew what Batman's world would look like, it was time to think up a story and ... write the script, something the team does over and over again for each episode. Let's zoom back in a little bit. There we go. Damn, Paul Dini's looking like a stud over here. They start with a brainstorming session where everyone gets together and talks about story ideas. Since Batman Beyond takes place in the near future, we'll look at new situations and technology that are just starting to be accepted into society and project what they will be like 40 years from now, Paul Dini explains. For example, in one meeting, we were thinking about the current tattoo craze. We put a futuristic spin on that and came up with the Splicers, a teen gang that uses animal DNA to enhance their bodies. So right away, that's something I can throw in the timeline. Paul Dini talking about 40 years from now. File, save as. Adventures with the DC superheroes. Paul Dini, 40 years. Like I was telling y'all, we're trying to have this sourced as thoroughly as possible. I have so many different things talking about when Batman Beyond takes place, and a lot of them disagree with each other. A lot say 40 years, a couple say 50 years, some say 2038, some say 2039. Let's see, Adventures with the DC superheroes. And then let me pop in that Paul Dini quote. And I'll clean that up in a bit. Now, back to what we were reading. Once they decide on a cool idea, like the Splicer storyline, a staff writer is assigned to the story. The writer comes up with 10 pages that touch on the story's main points, Bruce explains. Then we give the writer notes, feedback, and the first draft of the script. The first draft of the script is written. After the script is finished, actors hit the studio to record the characters' voices. They do this before a single scene is sketched so that the animation will match their voices. And sometimes, when we rehearse as a new script with the actors, they might give us an idea for a new line or a new interpretation on a character, Paul says. Will Friedle, Boy Meets World, stars as the voice of Terry McGinnis. Other voice actors include Kevin Conroy as Bruce Wayne, Lauren Tom as Dana Tan, Seth Green from Buffy the Vampire Slayer as Nelson Nash, Stockard Channing as Commissioner Barbara Gordon, Terry Garr as Mary McGinnis, and Ryan O'Donoghue as Matt McGinnis. Once the dialogue is recorded, artists draw a storyboard, a sort of cartoon map of all the action. It's like a comic book, Bruce Timm explains. The storyboard artist reads the script and listens to all the recorded voices so the action and characters are drawn correctly. From the storyboards, professional artists create the actual animation artwork. They hand draw, ink, and color individual scenes, called cells, of artwork that, when run together in order, create a moving picture. Special effects, like explosions, are also created at this point, all by hand. When the animation is done, the director cuts the episode down to the correct amount of time, takes out scenes that don't work, and oversees the addition of sound effects and music to complete the show. Then you come in. As the world's biggest Batman Beyond fan, it's now your job to kick back and enjoy all the hard work that goes into bringing your fave superhero to life each brand new episode. Oh, I accidentally clicked off of the image. As each brand new episode hits the kids' WB, it's a tough job, but we think you can handle it. For more behind the scenes secrets, visit a library or bookstore and look for the book Batman Animated by Paul Dini and Chip Kidd. So that's a fun little interview piece. Oh, is that Doomsday Clock's guy still in here? Is that what's happening here? Let me view the deleted message. All right, Alex, I gotta be honest. You're getting a hide. We tried to have a talk with you about not making this your personality. How it doesn't make sense to be this gung ho about a comic that came out 3 years ago, and we gave you an opportunity, an open invite to actually be part of what we're talking about, what the chat's talking about, and be part of the conversation, be part of the community. But it doesn't seem like you want to do that. So, like, why are you here? Why are you taking your time to do this? What are you gaining out of just repeatedly saying Doomsday Clock sucks? Because all you're doing really is just annoying people. And like, is that who you want to be? Do you want to be the guy that pushes people away just because you dislike a comic? Like, come on, man, do better, or just get out of here. Like, that's your choices. But I've hidden you for right now, so no matter how many times you type Doomsday Clock sucks into the chat, it's not gonna show up. The AMV, that thing we all needed to make and watch as soon as YouTube was a thing. Yeah, right? Hey, Mattie. Hello, Super Tim Chakraborty. I hope I'm not butchering that name terribly. Do you think there's an alternate universe in DC where Terry became Nightwing Beyond instead of Batman? Why not? Why not? Right? If they're going back to Infinite Earths, it's possible. Speaking of Paul Dini, have you read that comic he did a couple years back about the real life account of his mugging? Yes. It's called Dark Knight, a True Batman Story. And it's all about his time on Batman the Animated Series. It goes a lot into his mental health issues. And of course the mugging. If you haven't seen our cut content from Batman the Animated Series videos, he does go over the plot outline for he goes over the plot outline for the Missing Sandman episode. And his experience in pitching that. It's 100%. If you are a fan of Batman the Animated Series, it is definitely a comic that you should pick up and read. But even if you aren't a big fan of Batman the Animated Series, I mean, I don't know why you would be here if you're not. But even if you're not a big fan of Batman the Animated Series, I do think it's a worthwhile comic to read, especially like if you deal with mental health issues and stuff like that. I think it's very worthwhile to you know, have someone that you can relate to and be like, oh, well, that's how they dealt with it and that kind of stuff. 100% recommend reading that book. Is there any info about Joker and Batman's first encounter in the DCAU? I don't think so. Well, no, actually, I mean, I guess technically we've got the flashback in Beware the Creeper, but that doesn't necessarily, I don't know if that counts, just based on the fact that he's not, you know, the Joker by that point, but becomes the Joker. Because if that counts, then I guess Mask of the Phantasm also counts. But otherwise, I don't think we do have any further information on the first Batman versus the guy who is actually now the Joker situation. Okay, here's the comic that's in here. And this is probably where we're gonna end it for the night. There might be another Batman Beyond tidbit in here, so I'll look through the rest of the book as well to see if there's anything else. But this is probably where we're gonna end the night. So if you got anything else you want to talk about in chat, go ahead. Be sure to get it in, because I will definitely go back in there after going through this. This is nuts! 3 of my toughest, most twisted enemies teaming up against me at once. Shriek, the master of sound. Ow! Ink, the master of, well, goop. And Blight, a radioactive skeleton. So let's make use of the materials at hand. Then we short-circuit Shriek's exoskeleton. Wait, did I miss something? No, okay. Weird, it kind of just felt like there was a page missing. Then we short-circuit Shriek's exoskeleton, sapping all its power. And they say being a superhero is tricky. It's that easy, is it? Oh, I guess that's Bruce.
It's that easy, is it?
Sure, I knew they weren't real. They were obviously computer simulations you'd created. Piece of cake.
Really? Well, a word of advice from the original Batman to the new Batman. Always expect the unexpected.
And he swoops Terry's legs out from under him. So I would say this sounds like it's something that happens pretty early on. Shriek, Ink, and Blight are all here. So it definitely has to be after their intros. We got Blackout. Let's see. We got Meltdown is where. Oh, hey buddy, you coming back in? We got Meltdown is where Blight comes in. So we'll say after Shriek. Some point is where we'll put Adventures with the DC superheroes. And does this specific story have a name to it, even though it's only 2 pages? It's just called Batman Beyond. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. Adventures with the DC superheroes. Batman Beyond. Oh shit, did I accidentally deleted the bubble. There it goes. Come back. Oh, of course. It's loading. Okay, there it goes. Tight. And I will draw an